Welcome to my channel of Gill Master Story Life. Don't forget to subscribe button and press on the bell icon for more inspiration and mind-blowing stories. The small town of Meadowridge was waking up to the golden hues of dawn. Birds chirped from the trees, and the scent of freshly baked bread wafted from the bakery. Near the edge of the bustling town, a stray dog named Bruno roamed the cobblestone streets with his younger brother, Milo. Bruno, a strong, weathered mutt with a patchy brown coat, had taken on the role of protector and provider for his family after their mother had disappeared weeks ago. Milo, smaller and frail, relied on Bruno for survival. The two had developed a routine foraging in the alleys for scraps and avoiding the rough hands of angry shopkeepers. Despite their struggles, Bruno had promised himself to keep Milo safe. It was a bond forged, not just by blood, but by the harshness of the streets. But that morning, something changed. As the brothers trotted near the main road leading out of town, a loud screech echoed through the air, followed by a thud. Bruno turned sharply, his heart racing. Milo had ventured too close to the road, and now lay motionless, his small body sprawled across the asphalt. A delivery truck had sped away, leaving a trail of dust and despair. Bruno's paws pounded against the road as he reached Milo. His younger brother was still breathing, but it was faint. His little chest rose and fell unevenly, and his paw was twisted unnaturally. Panic coursed through Bruno's veins. He licked Milo's face, whining softly, trying to wake him up. As cars zoomed past, Bruno did something remarkable. He moved to the side of the road, sat down on his hind legs, and bowed his head low. He whimpered loudly, his eyes wide and glistening with tears. His cries grew louder, almost human-like in their desperation. As passers-by walked by, ignoring the heartbreaking scene, a young girl named Clara, no more than 10 years old, tugged on her mother's sleeve, pointing toward Bruno. "Mom, that dog is crying," she said. Her mother dismissed it as a coincidence, pulling her along, but Bruno didn't stop. He shifted closer to Milo, barking and crying louder, his pleas turning into a desperate howl. Finally, an older man named Mr. Hargrove stopped his battered pickup truck on the side of the road. His face was weathered, with deep wrinkles that hinted at a life of hardship. He stepped out cautiously, his boots crunching against the gravel. "What in the world?" he muttered, noticing Bruno's submissive posture. The dog's eyes locked with his, filled with an unspoken plea. Mr. Hargrove knelt down, examining Milo. "This little one's in bad shape," he murmured. Bruno barked softly, stepping closer to Milo and then looking back at the man. It was clear Bruno was asking for help. Moved by the sight, Mr. Hargrove gently scooped up Milo into his arms and motioned for Bruno to follow. Mr. Hargrove rushed Milo and Bruno to the town's small veterinary clinic, run by Dr. Eleanor Hayes. The clinic was modest but clean, with the smell of antiseptics and the faint sound of animals in the back. Dr. Hayes was in her 40s, with sharp eyes that softened when she saw the trio enter. "What happened?" she asked, already clearing a table. "This pup was hit by a car," Mr. Hargrove explained. "And this one," he gestured to Bruno, "this one's the reason I stopped. Never seen anything like it." Bruno watched intently as Dr. Hayes examined Milo. He paced nervously, his claws clicking against the floor. Dr. Hayes frowned. "He's in bad shape. Broken leg, internal injuries." She glanced at Bruno. "But he's a fighter, just like his brother. Let's see what we can do." As night fell, the clinic grew quiet. Bruno lay beside Milo's bed, his nose resting on the edge. Milo's breathing was steadier now, but Bruno's eyes never left him. In the shadows of the room, something stirred. The air grew colder, and a faint whisper echoed. Bruno's ears perked up. A shadowy figure loomed near the window, its form indistinct but menacing. It whispered words Bruno couldn't understand, but the tone was clearer. Threat, Bruno growled low, standing protectively in front of Milo. The shadow receded, but the chill remained. The next day, strange things began happening. Clara, the young girl who had noticed Bruno, told her parents about the dog's plea. Word spread quickly, and soon Meadow Ridge was buzzing with stories of the crying dog, but not everyone believed it. Meanwhile, Bruno noticed more shadowy figures around town. They lingered near alleys and corners, their whispers growing louder. It was as if something malevolent was drawn to Milo's suffering. Dr. Hayes, too, began experiencing strange occurrences. Equipment malfunctioning, doors creaking, open by themselves. Bruno knew he couldn't protect Milo alone. He ventured out into the night, seeking help. In the outskirts of town, he found a small pack of stray dogs he'd once clashed with over territory. Their leader, a scarred husky named Fang, was reluctant at first, but when Bruno explained the danger, the shadows, the whispers, Fang agreed to help. If something's threatening one of us, it's threatening all of us, Fang said. The pack followed Bruno back to the clinic, forming a protective circle around Milo. The shadows grew bolder that night. They seeped into the clinic, their whispers turning into guttural growls. The temperature dropped, and the lights flickered. Bruno and the pack stood their ground, barking and growling fiercely. Dr. Hayes, armed with a flashlight and sheer determination, joined them. The confrontation was terrifying. The shadows took on twisted forms, lunging at the group, but Bruno's courage was unwavering. He leapt at the largest shadow, teeth bared, and drove it back. The other dogs followed suit, their unity overpowering. The darkness, slowly, the shadows began to fade, their whispers turning into anguished cries before disappearing entirely. With the shadows gone, Milo began to recover quickly. Dr. Hayes decided to adopt both brothers, giving them a safe, loving home. The story of Bruno's plea and the pack's bravery spread far beyond Meadow Ridge, inspiring countless people to show kindness to animals in need. As Bruno lay in the warm sunlight outside Dr. Hayes' home with Milo playfully tugging at his ear, he felt a peace he hadn't known in a long time. He had kept his promise to protect his brother, and in doing so, he had found a family and a place to call home. Years later, a statue of Bruno was erected in the town square, depicting him in his kneeling plea. It became a symbol of loyalty, courage, and the unbreakable bond of family. And though Bruno and Milo had found their happy ending, their story continued to inspire, reminding everyone that even in the darkest times, love and bravery could overcome anything. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. For more content, please leave your comments and share your experiences. Thank you for being part of Gill Master Stories Live community. See you soon.